Oh, I can't forget about that Senate report and Joe Biden, son Hunter Biden, and what we see going on with all that. Here's a thread that explains some of this from Kim Strassel of the Wall Street Journal. The Johnson-Grassley report raises the many and disturbing conflicts of interest surrounding Hunter's business dealings while Joe was vice president. But it also makes clear the Democratic nominee is not being straight with the public. Joe Biden last year said, "I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings." That's pretty definitive, right? Yet, according to testimony from former Obama official Amos Hochstein, he briefed Joe on his concerns about Hunter and Burisma in October 2015. And shortly after his conversation with Vice President Biden, Hunter Biden contacted Hochstein and asked to meet. According to Hochstein, Hunter became aware of Hochstein's West Wing conversation with the vice president, who had mentioned it to Hunter. So, Joe Biden was specifically briefed on the U.S. government's concerns about Hunter and Burisma, and he specifically brought up those concerns to his son. How does that comport with, "I have never spoken"? If Joe isn't asked about this at the debate, it's journalistic malpractice. Well, then we know it's not going to happen. The report similarly shows that despite former Secretary of State John Kerry saying he had no knowledge of any of this, he in fact was also briefed on Hunter Biden. Seems a lot of people in the Obama administration knew this was a problem, but nobody acted. This is all relevant given Biden's claim he is a more ethical choice in this election. Voters might legitimately ask if the wink-nod approach to Hunter's wheeling-dealing will be business as usual in a Biden administration. So no, that's the very good version of the takeaway here that you should all have from this. But I'll give you some of the specifics, as people are saying Hunter Biden, was. I love this. The New York Times: Republican inquiry finds no evidence of wrongdoing by Hunter Biden. That's the New York Times headline. The New York Post headline, same report they're talking about. Quote: Senate report links Hunter Biden to prostitution or human trafficking ring. Oh, well, that seems like a very different takeaway than what the Democrats had. Hunter Biden sent thousands of dollars to people who appear to be involved in the sex industry, according to a report released Wednesday by Republicans in the U.S. Senate. The report says, this is the New York Post version, unspecified records show that Biden sent funds to non-resident alien women in the United States who are citizens of Russia and Ukraine and who have subsequently wired funds they've received from Hunter Biden to individuals located in Russia and Ukraine. The records also note that some of these transactions are linked to what appear to be Eastern European prostitution or human trafficking rings. The allegations are contained in a footnote to a section of the report that details potential criminal concerns and extortion threats involving the son of Democratic vice presidential and former Vice President Joe Biden, the Democratic presidential nominee, rather, and other members of the Biden family. The report cites extensive public reporting concerning Hunter Biden's alleged involvement with prostitution services. Records on file with the committees do not directly confirm or refute these individual reports. Yeah, they're saying Hunter Biden spends a lot of money on prostitutes who are tied to human trafficking. Now, look, I understand you can say, Buck, that's the son, it's not Joe Biden. Do you think, let's ask the question, just so we could all be on the same page here. Do you think that if Donald Trump Jr. was sending thousands and thousands of dollars to prostitutes that he was now using the services of, and including prostitutes who might be tied to human trafficking rings, so they themselves are perhaps being human trafficked, and their money, the proceeds they're making from that process is going to the horrific process of human trafficking other people as well, from the overlords that are doing all this stuff, Russian mob and so on and so forth. Do you think that if Donald Trump Jr. was involved in that, it would not be the biggest news story in the country for a couple of days? And all the news outlets would be saying, oh my gosh. Yeah. We all know this, right? I mean, the double standard is mind-blowing, but it is certainly real. You can't avoid it. You can't assume that it's going to get any better either. It's actually going to get worse between now and Election Day. But the Burisma stuff, look, I was working with John Solomon at thehill.com at the time when he was breaking those stories, and they were pushing all this stuff on the Burisma. You know, friends, yeah, it's corrupt. It's bad. It's also not going to win us the election. It's also not going to lead to the ultimate gotcha moment. Democrats are fine with corruption on their side, and the media will just ignore how gross it is. So we can make as much noise about it as we want, but this dog won't hunt, friends. The Burisma thing is not, I was never a proponent of how this is going to take down. I know some people on some shows, you know, it's a constant, you know, Ukraine, Burisma update and everything else. I don't like making false promises to my audience about what I think is going to be achievable by the GOP or achievable by our side in politics. I didn't do it with Benghazi. I didn't do it with the Hunter Biden Burisma thing. I certainly haven't done it with the Durham probe, where how many months now have I been telling you I don't think the Durham probe is going to lead to really much of anything. I always tell this audience the truth. Too much respect for you and too much care for your respect for me to do otherwise. So while the Burisma story is interesting and it's valid, look, clearly the guy, it's corruption, but it's not criminal corruption that is going to cost Joe Biden the election. So how much more do we really want to talk? I mean, it's a little amusing because the double standard and everything with the Democrats, and it's also galling. But how much more do we really want to talk about Hunter Biden? I mean, the guy's a degenerate loser, and, you know, Joe Biden is obviously going to, you know, they're not going to hold him accountable. The media's not going to hold him accountable for his son, even if they would do that to a Republican. So I think it's a story that I'll keep you updated on, but don't expect, smoking gun here. Don't expect bombshell. You know, Hunter Biden, this guy impregnated a stripper in the back of a seedy club in D.C. and then tried to fight the paternity payments, okay? That's who the soon-to-be, if the Democrats have their way, President of the United States' son is. Media has no problem with it. Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.